Good morning. Guess what came in the mail this morning? My bento order from 2 weeks ago. It was really, really fast, all things considered. The mail is terrible this time. But this came all the way from Kyoto to Canada in under 2 weeks. I was quite shocked. I have had bento orders from this company come with a little more of a delay, but they're usually pretty good. Let's open this up. I'm not going to show you the label because, reasons. But this was from a company called Bento Co. I can't emphasize enough how great they are. They have a lot of good stuff, a lot of variety, and their items are very reasonably priced. Let's get rid of these peanuts and let's not touch any of them to each other because that's a horrible, horrible sound. And in this basket here are things that I got from a trip to an Asian market. I'm not going to call it local. It was nearly 2 hours away, but an Asian market near here, which also carries a great variety. It's called J-Town by the Sea. And if you're ever in the Toronto area, highly recommend. Go check it out. And their mask compliance is nearly 100%, so no worries about that. First out here, this was a bit of an indulgence. I am not that good at shaping the triangular rice balls. I'm working on it, but it's just not something that I do very often because I don't need to. It doesn't fit in the bento boxes, so... But I figured something like this will help me in the interim while I figure it out, or if I never do figure it out, because most people don't shape their rice balls by hand, let's be fair. Here, these are hot dog cutters. So have you ever seen the little octo dogs? They're made with one of these. It's a little bigger. These are really tiny, but a lot of times in Japan, the sausages, they're called, are the little canned ones, like the Vienna sausages. I don't know why. It's just a thing, I guess. These are bunny picks. So if you have something like meatballs in your bento and you prefer not to take silverware, we will talk a little bit later about eating utensils in another video, but that's not for today. With picks, you can have a way to eat things that you would prefer to eat with a utensil, but not having a utensil in your bento. And they add a ton of fun and cute to your lunches. And who doesn't really want that? Let's be fair here. Sorry, I will move the box. Let's see if we can't turn it and not cover everything up. I'm trying something different today. The lighting was just perfect and the package came in and my camera is charging. So I'm doing this on my phone. But the camera on my phone is exceptional, so I'm not overly concerned. These are more picks. These are a bit longer if you want to skewer, say, 2 things together, or if you have one really big thing that still manages to fit in your bento box. These really long ones I haven't used very often. Actually, I don't. I use toothpicks instead, but I thought this would be a nice change. And since with Bento Co, they're not too expensive, there is, if you are making bento for kids, you're gonna lose things. No matter how careful they are. My kids have thrown out so many things. It's not like they're trying to or anything. They're kids and they forget and they're in a hurry. But if you don't spend a ton of money on your things, then it's not heartbreaking. If you're buying it for yourself, well, that's a whole different thing. But anyway, here's more picks. These were so cute because I have 2 boys. And the little hats, if you put them on like cherry tomatoes and you make like a little face, you have a little gentleman in your bento box. I thought that was the cutest thing. And these are the really exciting parts. This is the Sakura Bento. This is, I can't remember how many milliliters this one is. I know it is a small bento. On Bento Co, they have their bentos into different categories. You can get small, medium, large, traditional, modern, wood, plastic. There's a lot of filters that you can choose there. So this one's for my daughter. So she's 9 and she definitely does not need a huge bento. She barely eats her lunch after this. Hakoya is the maker of this particular bento. I have not seen any that don't come with a strap, but double check the description when you buy your bentos. So there it is. They're usually all hand painted, no dishwasher. It's the label. So you see it's got, stick my finger in there. See, it's not that deep. It fits rice balls just fine as long as you make them of a size that you can take in 2 bites. This gasket is or I guess it's a lid, is amazing, and I didn't realize how amazing they were until I had a bento that didn't have one. But this keeps anything up here, because this is where your less dry ingredients would normally go, anything that's not rice. And say you have like a curried meat in there, typically you'd have it in a bento cup, but this lid can get stained instead of this lid, right? And also the lid doesn't fit on super snug, like the top lid, it's designed not to fit on super snugly, so there's not a whole lot of contact and friction there. And this one was for my son. This is in the modern bento category, and I believe it's also a medium size. It looks, if you compare the two, they look a lot, one looks significantly bigger than the other, but as far as volume, it's not too bad. There's the back. These are not my favorite because they are so slim. It can be a bit of a challenge to fit things that might perhaps be a little bit wider. So there it is. That's the box. So there it is. They're fairly tall. You press in this side and the other side and pull. I have 3 of these now. And they each have small compartments. There's 2 shallower compartments. These 2 are the same, and then the taller one in the bottom. The bottom one is kind of made for your rice or rice balls. School snacks, like if you go to the grocery store or what have you and get like the cookies and treats and stuff, those fit in the bottom fairly well as well. Always the fun part is getting everything back in the packaging. Okay, so there's those. And next step, as I said, I also went to J-Town last weekend and picked up a handful of things. First thing I saw was this round rice ball maker. I always suggest that when you first get into bento and you need a rice shaper, like you need one, get one that has a flat bottom. In the rice video, I'll show you the first one that I got, and I used it this morning. It's not ever going to be not useful for me. But these are fun, but try not to go with super fun for your first. rice ball maker just because I got these for a very specific recipe food. I don't know what to call it. See, there they are. These are really neat too because they have the little clips, so they go down good and secure. Though I can see, I don't know, there's no hole in the bottom. So I can see I might have a problem getting those out. If you'll notice, most rice shapers, they have a little cutout here, and you just press on it. It's not like a complicated hinge or anything, it's just plastic. But you just press on it and they pop out. This one doesn't seem to have that, but I'll try it out and see. I won't write it off yet. Next is something I have seen this for years on different sites, and I've never tried it because I don't really deep fry much. If we deep fry, my partner does it, but we do have a problem disposing of the oil because you can't put it in the garbage can because ew, and it gets everywhere and it's dirty and smelly. You don't really want to pour it outside because that'll kill whatever it lands on. You really can't grow much there next because the oil, the ground is just greasy. So this was really cool because you pour as a powder, there's a little package of powder in there. And when your oil is done, like done, not just I've used it once, I'm done with it. Your oil can be used a couple of times, depending on what you're making. If you're making something like tonkatsu, you may end up with dirty oil. But if you're deep frying daikon chips or lotus root chips, which I suggest, by the way, then you're going to be able to use your oil a couple of times. But at any rate, when your oil is done, and it's gross, you pour this powder in and stir it up a little bit, and it turns your oil solid. So you can just throw it out. It's a solid chunk. I don't know how well it's going to work. We will try it out in a while because we don't have any plans to deep fry anytime soon, but I will try it out and let you know. I got new grass because ours got something spilled on it and it was sticky in the package. That's really gross. But it was kind of a good thing because the grass that I had was too tall. Like it was really, really tall. Bentos aren't that big. So yes, you do curve it underneath the food, but I found that the cuts, right, to make it into grass and not just a plastic sheet, the cuts were too deep. So if I put it under too far and then bent it up, it still let all the sauce through. So I found these. They're kind of small and they come in a bunch of different colors and noticeably not that expensive. This package will take me through an entire year easily. So why not, right? Also got soy sauce bottles because mine are toast. This is one of those things that you will go through. Like, I have lost every soy sauce bottle that we have ever owned. It's not a malicious thing, it's just the kids don't think about it when they throw whatever garbage they have in their lunch. When they throw it out, the soy sauce bottles typically go with it. You can remind them, but they will forget, and it's just, they're not expensive, so it's not worth making a big deal out of. Most of the soy sauce bottles, the lids are a standard size, so buy lids that you like, and don't worry so much about the bottles themselves. And they're notoriously hard to clean. Let's see. Almost done. This I couldn't leave without. It's super cute. It's for punching nori into heart shapes. So you can put little nori hearts on your rice balls, or if you're gonna go out on a limb and try a nori bun, that would be really, really cute on the top layer. These do not work for anything other than dry nori. Not paper, not meat, not cheese, none of that. Use cutters for that. But I thought it's really cute. I have little face cutters already, and I thought maybe I might be able to put the two of them together to make kind of a themed bento. And these last two things are the same. And these are little crock sauce cups, condiment cups. I'll have to open them and find out. But they look like little bitty, crescent. I lost the word. Dutch ovens. How cute are they, though? They open up. They've got a little plastic hinge here, so try to go easy with the super hot water. A lot of opening and closing plus super hot water can weaken that hinge. I've had a couple similar break on me, but they're pretty sturdy and they're easy to clean because there's no like extra parts. Oh, I don't know how you can see that. I have to do it in my living room because it's better light, but these you might not be able to see very well. They're super cute though. The size might be a little bit bigger than standard bento cup, but I don't know. I think they're really cute. Okay, so these are our soy sauce bottles. You'll notice it's got a bit of a bigger opening than I'm used to, but regardless, they do have a very standard-ish size lid. They're a soft plastic, so you can squeeze them to get your soy sauce out. Mind the corners, do check them before you use them every time. The corners can weaken and you may not see it because it is such a thin plastic to start with, right? So that you can squeeze them. These would also be super cute if you can find quail eggs and do boiled eggs. These would be super cute. But there's a little chef's hat, a little policeman, a sailor, top hat. They're a good size. Though I do recommend keeping them in containers in your cupboard. They get lost easily. So I use the IKEA Pruta line, the smaller ones to hold my picks. And that way my drawer stays pretty organized. As it stands, there's so many things in that drawer. So if there wasn't some sort of organization, I'd be in a lot of trouble. Little bunnies. They're so cute. They're like dancing on your food. Look at me. I love some of this stuff. I mean, who doesn't love a little more cute in their life, right? And this one's holding a strawberry. These little guys here. I love the little expressions. Little winky faces like, you want to eat this, don't you? Ooh, this one's got a spring on it. See? I don't know, can you see that? It's got a little spring, so you stick your nori in this slot here. Punch it out. It's all plastic. Looks like the cutting edge is plastic. Yep. But it does have a little tooth to it, so neat. I'm not taking these out. They will get everywhere instantly. And I have a certain little pet right there who would love to take those and spread them all over the house. And this, I'll be able to show you what I'm talking about with the, so these, you open up, you put water in these so that they release well. Rice is sticky. So you put a little bit of water, just run it under the tap, run the lid under the tap, put your rice in. But this is what I'm talking about that's missing on this one. See this? It's a really interesting hinge design actually with the little bits here. But this, see how it's mobile? That's how you get your rice out. So you put your rice in, you take your lid, put it on, press it down just a bit. The idea is not to make a rice brick, but you don't want it to fall apart either. So a bit of pressure till it feels good and solid, and then you pop them out onto the counter or a plate or whatever. Anyway, but this is what I'm used to seeing here. That is a good size. And not like monster. You ever see, sometimes rice balls are like the size of your hands, and it's like, who's gonna eat all that? These little cutters here. I'm so surprised there's no staples. Normally you'll see them, they're stapled like here and here and there. This one's got tape, the other one didn't have anything. I do not have enough energy in my life to mess around with peeling tape. There's a little booklet here, well not booklet, just the back, but showing you how to use all of your items. They say to fry. It depends. I find with hot dogs, like the hot dogs that you and I know of, I find the faces and whatnot open up better when you boil them. Oh my goodness, they're tiny. Okay, so this is the little bunny. I don't know if that's going to make any sense to you. All of these parts that stick out are where there's going to be cuts. So you can see the ears, the eyes, the mouth. They are so tiny. Hello. This one's a turtle. That is going to be so cute. Kind of reminds me of when you make, I've got a video on hot dogs, making like hot dogs and stuff. This kind of reminds me of the cuts you would make for the grilled fish. This little bunny. Oh my goodness, that's so cute. I can't wait to use these. There's a different turtle. Is it a lady turtle? Looks like one's got a bigger, oh. No, they would both open their mouths. I don't know. You tell me. Pretty similar to me. One's a little higher than the other. I don't know. Besides that, I don't see any difference. It looks like it should have eyelashes. I don't see that though. Oh. This, always difficult to get out. So this is a very handy little tool. When you get one of these, don't let it go. They're useful for a lot of things, like putting nori eyes on things. Try not to use a chopstick because they're too big. But these are for when you get your hot dog stuck. It happens all the time, don't worry. But when you get your hot dog stuck in here, you can just use the rounded end and push it out. You'll get these with, there's a couple of things I've gotten these with. Mostly some form of cutters. I've got Timothy. There's a set of like sheet cutters that I got. They're pink. I've probably shown them before, but that's where I got my first one of those, and yeah, I lost it and I was so sad. You can't just buy cutters. But anyway, this has been everything I've picked up. Oh, so this is everything I picked up. It's a good haul, I think, and even to get you started, I would have gotten some silicone cups, something else besides these two, something with flat bottom, but that would definitely get you started. Right now, I don't know when you're watching this, but as of filming, Bento Co still have their back to school sale going. So there's clearance items and a fairly good discount on a lot of things. And even if not, start your stash. You gotta start somewhere, right? If you have to start at the dollar store with some sort of Ziploc container, start there. The worst thing you can do is not get started on what you want. It doesn't have to be perfect right away. In fact, it's kind of a bad sign if you are perfect right away. It means you gotta know where to go. So embrace the adventure. Anyway, this has been You Need a Bento. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you next time.